Infinite analysis period or capitalized cost. This is the particular example scenario, not necessarily anything new in terms of how you solve this problem. You should be able to solve the problem based on the video demonstration that we have shown so far. However, there are a lot of situations, for example, government, they construct bridges, electric lines, water lines, gas lines. So all those different projects that government takes, that goes for a very long time. Let's say, they're going to construct a bridge, and it can go for 100 years and things like that. Generally, we'll show that anything after 30 years can be considered as an infinite amount of time. We'll show that very soon in Microsoft Excel. So in this scenario, they're going to construct a bridge for $10 million, and the city is going to raise the money by selling bond, 30 years bonds at a rate of 10% per year. To understand bond calculation, check one of the videos that we have already posted for bond calculation. So the question here is how much money they have to collect per year so that they can pay off all these bond investors. So I have basically extracted all the values here. So simply we're going to use that payment function to calculate how much per year they have to collect tolls to pay off this bond investors. So the rate is 10%, going to be 30 years compounding. The present value is this. I'm going to use a negative sign so that I get a positive number for this. And then the bond investor, check that video how to do the bond calculation. This bond investor, they will get this exact same money back. So if you buy $1,000 bond today, after 30 years upon its maturity, you will get $1,000 back with interest. So we need that $10 million in the future when we pay off all these bond investors. So this is the amount, just over $1 million per year has to be collected to pay off these investors. Now, to explain 30 years, is that really a infinite amount of time or not, things like this. I have created a graph where you can see here, this is the number of years and these are the payments. As you can see here, after certain time, about after 30 years, it doesn't really change much. So it's kind of flatten out. So I've calculated payment for basically up to probably around 100. And then you can see it doesn't really change much. Anyway, a lot of time a question is what is considered as infinite. So in this case, 30 years could be enough. So kind of going back to the situation here. So what you're trying to do here, either you calculate the total present value from a infinite amount of cash flow for the future. Say you have a cash flow for 30 years every year and converted that to a present value, or in this case, it's asking the other way around. So you need $10 million, and then how much you have to collect per year so that you can basically it equivalent to that $10 million. So the calculation is very simple. You can simply just use that PMT function or PV function, depends on what's the question is asking. So I think that explains that infinite analysis period capitalized cost.